Hello out there in video land and hello out there in audio land. Yeah. Now we're going to get a few minute early jump on this today, only because we've got a lot to get through on this Manic Monday on Your City, Your Voice. And I want to make sure I get through it all, trying to get through it all in the show, in the normal view of the show here. But it's going to be a long one. We are doing the City Council capital budget on Your City, Your Voice on this Manic Monday and on 4680Q Radio, of course, live. We're always live. Your City, Your Voice is always live Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays on 4680Q Radio. And of course, on Wednesdays, we do All Habs, All Show, absolutely coming to you live. So let's get this show on the road. First, we're going to start with our sponsors before we get into it. We have a lot to cover. 382 pages with thousands of entries in the capital budget, the mayor's capital budget. Each department making their requests, new this, new that, all capital expenses over and above the cost to operate the city, which we'll see come January when the operations budget comes out. For now, we're doing the capital budget, and tomorrow is the meeting for the capital budget. So tomorrow is when City Council meets, and they have reviewed all this. Hopefully, they've reviewed it all. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do, right? Every councilor should have gone through this 382 pages, and they've written down notes and questions to ask of staff and the mayor. Who this is the mayor's budget. This is the mayor's budget. So, yeah, questions to ask. And of course, line entries where we could save money for the taxpayers and that kind of thing. So let's get to my sponsors. Then we're going to get into the budget. And of course, my sponsors are Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, along with Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. So, we got a beautiful sunny day out here. What a nice day. I mean, we're coming into November and look at it out here. Now, I know there's some ominous warnings for the weekend, but we're going to enjoy this while we can. Right, everybody? Yeah, let's enjoy this. But Wild Bill's isn't letting you down. Take your car and make an appointment, get a free inspection. And they're going to take a look at everything. Brakes, tires, fluid, you name it. They're going to look at it, throw it on the computer to make sure there's no error codes popping up, and take it for a test drive just to make sure everything is right. Because you don't want to break down when the snow starts flying. That's for sure. That's the worst time to have it happen. So you got to get it in there and let them check it out. Make sure everything's okay. And if you get in a wreck, don't worry about it. He's got a full body shop there. He'll take your car in, fix it, throw it out in showroom condition. New room, showroom condition. And you're going to be very, very happy. Where do you find Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop? Oakwood Drive, right next to the Kia dealership. Very easy to find. Very easy to get a hold of. WildBillsAuto.ca is where you go online. Give them a call, make your appointment, and come on, let's get going here. Let's get serious. Winter's going to be here before you know it. Okay, so like I say, the budget's 382 pages long with thousands of entries. Now, looking at it just on the first 40 or so pages, it kind of gives every department and what their asks are and what they're going to spend, but they don't break it down any explanations as to why they need all this. So if you look at the bottom line, this year's capital budget is coming in at around 50 million. Yeah, everything's million. And last year was 66 million. So we are basically spending 16 million less on capital expenses this year than on capital expenses last year. And the reason for that is that I kind of took a look through it, and a big part of the decrease is with vehicles and equipment. 2024, we spent 14 million on equipment, just over 14 million on vehicles and that kind of thing. This year it's at 6 million. So there's 8 million of the 10 million right there. Facilities and land went from 12.5 million to 6.5 million. So there's another 6 million. You're at 14 million plus other savings. So we took the hit last year and saved about 60 million this year on the capital cost. Now that sounds good, and you're happy about that, right? But that's not the end of the 16 million, because now we have to ask where it went. And it means nothing because the capital budget is what we're putting into roads and that kind of thing. And the operations budget is the cost to run the city. So if there's more cost to run the city this year, it'll lead up that 16 million. And so we can't get really excited about that yet. We still have to see what the operations budget comes in. It could come in at 16 million over what we spent last year. I mean, if you look at 2024, they spent 10 million more than they budgeted, right? So they budgeted whatever, and they spent 10 million more. So the money that they said they didn't have to enable them to raise our taxes by 4 or 5%, all of a sudden they found it during the year. Hey, we got an extra 10 million here. Somehow they Houdini'd it and found it. So yeah, and there's 14.7 million of deferred projects, of which some of you may see come to fruition in 2025. So there's lots of stuff, lots of dynamics in these budgets. And like I said, we have to wait for the operations budget. So I figure that there's 80 million or more dollars floating around. Right? So, and everybody say, how do you get that 80 million? What do you mean we have 80 million? How come they're raising our taxes with 80 million? And that's a really, really damn good question. How do I get 80 million? Well, let's see. 40 to 50 million for the Niagara Regional broadband sale to Cogeco. Now, how did I come up with that number? Because they haven't disclosed what we got for it. And we're the taxpayers, we're the shareholders, but they've kept it secret from us. We have no clue what's going on with that. So, in that regard, I'm just going by what Niagara and Lake reported. Now, Niagara and Lake was a 25% owner of Niagara Regional Broadband. If you don't know what that is, well, that was kind of secret too. A lot of people didn't know we even owned that. And it was an internet company providing wireless internet, Niagara Regional Broadband, to institutions and that kind of thing. So we got a good buck for it from Cogeco. We just don't know what. But according to Niagara and Lake, they owned a 25% share. They got around 15 million. So you do the math, that's about 60 million. Minus the 15 that they got, about 45 million, I figure. Somewhere in around there. If that was the sale price, if the deal was they got all their money up front, we don't know. And so all we can do is speculate. That's all I can do. I don't know if any of this is true. I'm just speculating. It could be a lot more. And the terms of the agreement, we don't know what they were. I don't know what the terms of the agreement were. So at the end of the day, we're going to have to wait until they give us full disclosure, transparency on this one. Now, that's 40 or 50 million. 7.5 million saved on transit. Remember, we offloaded transit last year to the region, and that used to cost us $7.5 million. So that $7.5 million is still in the pot somewhere. It's still there somewhere. It's our money. It's there. 1.3 million saved on the hospital. If you remember last year when they were doing the budget, they used to take 1.3 million, put it towards the hospital until somebody got up. I think it was Victor Peterangelo, Councillor Peterangelo, said, we don't need that money anymore. We've already put up enough money for the hospital. Our share's already paid for. It's sitting in a fund that's gaining interest. And by the time we hit 2028, when the bill comes due, we're going to have more than enough to pay for it. So that's 1.3 million they didn't have to spend. Now, last year, our Tiffany Clark, our accountant or whatever financial officer, decided that they'd rather take that 1.3 million and instead of giving it back to the taxpayers, they're going to put it in a reserve fund for vehicles they just spent $14 million on. But that money's still there for 2025. They didn't put it anywhere. 10.4 million money spent we never had. Like I said, we had passed the budget and they spent 10.4 million more than they needed. They got it from somewhere. And 10 million, that money's still there. You got to remember when they raise our taxes, the taxes don't go down and start at zero again. All those raises are there. So any raises we get are on top of the other raises, compounding. It's like compound interest. So don't forget about that. And we got another 10 million in casino money that's underestimated in the 2024 budget. Yes, they said we're going to get 14 million. We're looking at more like 24 million when it's all said and done. We'll see what the final tab is, somewhere around there between 21 and 24 million. And that's been happening for a few years now. So there's other monies. And we got the 16 million that we saved on the capital budget this year. So we got a lot of money hanging around. And, I know they're going to cry. We need that. We don't have enough money of inflation and everything else. But seriously, folks, don't let them gaslight you. And, everybody says you're nuts. That money's not sitting around. You're just making, you know what? I'm making it up. Okay, let's say I'm making it up and city council hears this or the city councilor hears this. You would think they would message me and say, shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. But I haven't had one person say that to me. So I'm just taken. I must be onto something here. I haven't had one person say I'm wrong, even the ones that like me. so I mean, you add it all up. We got lots of money floating around. Let's put it that way. So now let's take a look at different departments and the requests for things. Everybody wants things, and a lot of them want big things. Of course, every department wants everything new. Yeah. Nobody's ever heard of going to the markets and seeing if we can buy used stuff that's in good shape, save the taxpayers money. It looks to me like everything is new, although I'm not in the procurement department and I don't know how they operate. But when I look at the prices of some things, it points to new. And they like to replace everything in 5 years, even if they work fine. 5 years seems to be a thing especially for technology equipment. That 10-year-old computer you got because you can't afford a brand new one, a desktop? Well, see, that wouldn't fly in Niagara Falls. They got a brand new all the time. It's up to council to put a rein in on spending, so they should go through all this, and they should be looking to start putting lines through things in line items. This budget's been out for a couple weeks now. Start asking staff about how they procure things, how they get things, where they pay for it. Trying to save us money in any fiscal year. So if you want to go through this, you probably won't have time by tomorrow, because that's when the meeting is at 2:00 in the afternoon on Tuesday. That's why I'm doing the show today. So there's 382 pages to figure out where you would save money. And basically, if you're going to go by staff, they recommend everything. And if council did their due diligence, they would come up with different savings depending on their backgrounds. And everything else has an opinion. Like, this is just my opinion on stuff. And every counselor has a different opinion on things. And staff has a different opinion on things. Staff puts the budget together, even though it's called the mayor's budget. Don't be fooled. Staff puts it together from A to Z. And then the mayor looks at it and he doesn't disagree with anything probably. Maybe he'll say what he did disagree with and ask them to change it. But, it comes to council anyway. And council's, they've got to be there submitting questions and trying to figure out where they can save money for the taxpayer. My contention is they should start at zero and tell staff, we're starting at zero. You're coming in at zero. And if there's anything critical we have to add to it, then we will. But what they do is they start at 6 or 7 or 8%, get it down to 4%, and they're really happy. Whereas we're not happy because we got to pay the bill. And a lot of stuff comes down to fear mongering. When you say, well, we could do that, but we don't have enough staff. We got to hire more staff. We could do that, but then services are going to be cut. We just saw them blow $350,000 at the last meeting for nothing. Concrete ping pong tables. So, they got to do a better job. They got to do a better job. Everybody should have stood up and said no. And I'm hoping there's some people who stand up and say no to a few things in this. So, like I say, the first pages are more of a roundup of what the departments want and how they're going to fund it, more than line items or anything like that. And even when you see line items, you have to remember that when I look at it, I see a price. And I'm going to give you examples of it. But I can't click on that and drill down and see what the price is per unit. So if they say they need 10 of something, I can't click on it and drill down and see what they're buying, what the 10 things are, what they're actually buying, and what they're spending per unit. I only see one big number. So I'm at a disadvantage in that regard. I mean, I'm sure that there are people who are able to click on it and drill down and see everything. Maybe city council has that ability. I don't. So I'm just going by what I see. You have to understand that. And what I think is important and what isn't important to me as a taxpayer. Now, you may not agree. You may say, well, we need that or we need this. That's up to you. You got to go through it and do it yourself. So let's start at page 77. And these are all page numbers that I'm looking at. And they're all page numbers with entries on them, of course. Recreation, culture, and facilities, $104,000. The first thing I noticed is what they're buying here. In one item, and I don't know how many there are, like I say, I can't drill down, $26,700 for adjustable height workstations. Now, why can't they use regular desks? Do they need adjustable height? And they're going to tell you the big excuse, well, sitting there 8 hours at the computer, you get back problems and leg problems. That's baloney. Nobody sits 8 hours at City Hall on their duffs at a computer. Believe me, they get all their coffee breaks. They get washroom breaks. If they smoke, they probably go outside to have smoke breaks. They get lunch. They get another break in the afternoon. And then they go home. If they sit down for more than an hour and a half, 2 hours at a time, I'd be shocked. But they need $26,700 for adjustable height desks, workstations. And I don't know how many that is. This is the problem. $26,700 for desks sounds like a lot. For adjustable height workstations sounds like a lot. If they're buying 20 of them, okay, maybe that's a different story. We don't know. And this is why I look at that and I say, okay. And then I look at it and say, well, why can't they go to the market and get used office furniture to take care of this, which maybe cuts the price in half? I don't know. But what I do know is after COVID, when a lot of people are working at home, they're not going to the office anymore. These companies got rid of bricks and mortar and they put all their equipment up for auction. So there's a lot of this floating around. So procurement, search the market. Maybe they could cut this price off in half. But maybe they already did that. See, and this is the problem when you don't know. Procurement might have done that, but we don't know. They just come up with this price. They also need $14,900 for beds, frames, and mattresses. For where? I don't know. $25,200 for chairs. Are they talking office chairs? $25,000? $4,000 for leather rockers. Leather reclining rocker. Like, where's this going? They don't tell you. This is the problem. We don't know. And $9,600 for contingency funds. For what? They're just going to hold on to that in case they need it to blow on other stuff. This is what I'm talking about, and that's why I'm giving you a real good eye. You're going to hear a lot of these numbers, and you're going to say, things that make you go, And they certainly made me go, in the hours I spent going through 382 pages. Page 79, procurement, $12,000 for a new scoreboard for Chippewa Arena. And what bothered me about that one, it was slipped in with scrubbers, leaf blowers, and drop spreaders. There was all these like lawn equipment and different things. Then all of a sudden there was a scoreboard for the arena. almost like they just slid it in there, but $12,000. Now I thought last meeting they're going to build a new arena or something. So why are they buying a new scoreboard for this one? Maybe it could be transferred to the new one. But see, these are the questions that people have to ask. We don't know. There's another 12 grand. Page 81, corporate services, equipment, $160,000. And I'm going to tell you the list of what is on this. And I don't know if it's needed or not, but you just listen to the numbers. Blower for trackless, $25,000. I don't even know what that is. Metal bender, $20,000. What a metal bender? Finishing mower, $11,900. Vacuum, $8,400. Pressure washer, $1,200. Personal lift, $8,300. Now, I don't know what this is, and they don't explain it. Here's some numbers. Blower for trackless. Trackless. I don't even know. Trackless what? I don't know. You got to go through it. Maybe you can figure it out. Maybe somebody who works for the city knows, but I don't. But there's $160,000. Page 83, hardware tech replacement. This is lovely. $400,000 for, get this, 50 computers. You mean every computer at City Hall is a piece of crap they got to replace them all? Is that what that's for? 60 laptops, 20 tablets, 40 monitors, 10 wireless access points, $400,000. 50 computers. They're hiring 50 new people. They need computers for them. We're going to see that in the operations budget. I don't know. Are they replacing all the computers in the city hall because they're 5 years old? I don't know. I got a computer 15 or 20 years old. It's still working fine. They must be doing some heavy duty something there. 50 computers, 60 laptops, 20 tablets, 40 monitors, and a partridge in a pear tree. 10 wireless access points. You tell me, $400,000. Oh, sorry. The next page said the finish of all that. 50 smartphones. 50 smartphones. I'd love to have their smartphone contract over there. I don't know who has it. I don't know where they go to get this stuff. I don't know how they make deals on it. But this is a lot of equipment, $400,000. 50 smartphones. What, the old smartphones aren't any good after 4 or 5 years? I got a Samsung 21. It's 3, 4 years old. It works fabulous. And my Samsung 7, I gave to my wife, and it works fabulous. Has the internet and everything. I mean, that's 15 years old. No, 17 years old. That's 7. I don't know. I'm just giving you information. You can do what you want. Listen to them tomorrow and see what they say. Page 85, information systems, $175,000. And that looks like it adds to page 83, but was separated to make it look good. This includes such items as page 83, laptops, iPads, audio and video upgrades, and CCTV, closed caption television service, or like the cameras for closed circuit TV. Yeah, basically surveillance cameras. So 83 was all this other stuff, and now add some more to that. So now we're at 575,000 for what looks like about the same thing, but separated. So they split it all out. Now, page 83 and page 90 are all information systems requests, which total $1.36 million this year alone. Now, I don't know. We have to pray that procurement or whatever department goes through this and orders this stuff. Usually, there's a procurement department. They look for things and find the best deals on things and make deals on things so we get the best deal. I'm thinking they do that. I don't know. I have no proof of that. I don't know. I'm just surmising that would be the smart way to operate. But When you got a blank checkbook and somebody else is picking up the tab, what the hell, huh? And I hope someone goes through it, like I said. And some of it is software regarding customer service. They're putting these new customer service things in, and it's costing us a fortune. Page 95, information systems, pavement condition software. $30,000 to tell you the condition of a road. What can I tell you? I can look at it and say it's a piece of junk. It's crap. It needs to be fixed. Take a drive down the job breaker. Do you need a $30,000 piece of equipment to tell you that's falling apart, and it's like the old portage trails that they used to get the canoes from Chippewa to Niagara Lake. $30,000 to tell you the condition of the road. Really, if you just listen to people, they'll tell you the condition of the road. You don't need a $30,000 piece of equipment. People will tell you for free. Page 101, 120,000 upgrade equipment in council chambers. $120,000. So what do they need? Oh, they need a new countdown clock, new microphones. You know, somebody told me for every $700,000 they save off the budget, we get a 1% decrease in taxes. So if you look at it, they want a 4% increase at 700,000. We got to find $3 million to get a zero increase, right? If that number's true, I don't know if it is or not. That's what I heard. If it's true, we need 3 million. I found the 3 million, and I didn't even get just the page 100 here. A lot of this equipment doesn't have to be upgraded. It's still good. They just want new stuff. It's got to be turned down. We got 1.13 million. I'll get to later on with that NS&T trail. We got 1 million that they demanded. Jason Burgess, the CAO, fine for this year's budget. There's 2 million. We got to come up with another $700,000. We should be easy. We got 80 million floating around. Why are we getting a tax increase? Okay. Okay, so page 101, did that. Page 113, budget request for engineering. Road and sewer repairs, 30.8 million requested to be done, and 14.7 million worth of projects deferred. I don't know who decides what's done and what's deferred, but it looks like the job breaker is finally going to get fixed. Now, this is money I can get behind, whatever it costs, because we do need these roads fixed. They're a mess, especially the job breaker. And what I'm talking about when I say the job breaker is the section of road from the train tracks on Portage Road by Greek on Portage restaurant all the way to Throwstone. That's the job breaker. It's like a trail, a wagon trail. The one thing I noticed on the deferred this was Valley Way between Portage and the Hydro Corridor in front of the new police station. That road right there is a disgrace, an embarrassment. It should be given a very high priority. I also am seeing a lot of preventative measures being taken, inspection of existing infrastructure to assess the true need of replacement, and a lot of aged infrastructure replacement. So that's a good thing because we do have infrastructure problems. We have old infrastructure that has to be updated. We have sewers that need to be separated. So anything like this in the capital budget they're spending money on, I don't regret that. I don't regret a dime of that. Let's get stuff fixed. Now, page 130, road reconstruction regarding new hospital. And when I saw this amount, it's 2.4 million. I thought we spent all we were going to spend on this project, but apparently it's another one of those projects that keeps on taking, not giving. And it has to be spent over and above the $15,126,617 we already spent. I don't think it's ever going to be over with this hospital, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to keep spending money. We got 40 or 50 million already into it, and we're going to just keep spending money. When it's never going to end. It's like the exchange. It's never going to end. Now, it appears a big part of it will be covered by development charges, but still, no matter what, it's money that could be spent elsewhere, given back to the people in the form of lower taxes. Page 137, we're getting through it. Phase 123 of Drummond Road and Portage Road, the jawbreaker. Finally, we're seeing it in writing here. Looking to be completed in 2025, and that's good news. Portage is going to be redone in phases, just like Drummond Road was redone. And phase 3 of Drummond Road is going to be taken care of, and that's Cherrywood Drive, Cherrywood Acre, Cherrywood Road, or whatever it's called, that thing, Cherrywood Road, Cherrywood Drive to Morrison Street. And that's just over the train tracks from the bingo hall and straight by the bingo hall to Morrison. And it's going to cost $8 million, and it's sorely needed. We can't wait for that to be done. Going to talk about that. Page 139, Chippewa gets some love. $7 million being spent on Willoughby Drive reconstruction. And if you've been up there, that's a mess. Page 171, accessibility improvement program, $50,000 to address accessibility issues in parks, trails, and sidewalks throughout the city, including but not limited to curb cut sidewalks and accessible pathways, which is fine. There are people who need access or should have access to these places, and to leave them out is a crime. So $50,000 to address that is a great expenditure of money. Page 173 is the start of the deferred budget items, projects that need to be done but have been deferred, I guess since the city doesn't have the capital to do them in the 2025 fiscal year. But I didn't quite get this, because have they been deferred before and we're going to take care of them now? Or are they being deferred now because we can't afford them? There's really no explanation on that. So I'm not sure. I think they're going to do them. I don't know. Very confusing. Hopefully they clear that up at city council meeting. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. it starts for the capital budget. Now, page 203, and if we're missing pages here, it's because I looked at them and I didn't see anything I wanted to talk about. Either they were good expenditures or they were just regular stuff. There's a lot of regular stuff in this budget we always spend money on. And, there's no use talking about them because it's not anything that's out of the ordinary. I'm just kind of focusing on good things, because there are good things in here for the city and the taxpayers, and bad things that I don't think we need, and we should save the money and give it back to us so we don't get a 4% tax increase. Page 203, fleet, vehicle replacement. Last year, the city spent $14.1 million on fleet replacement. This year, we're looking at about $6 million. Now, if you remember, the $1.3 million saved on the hospital last year was put into the fleet replacement reserves instead of giving back to the taxpayers. So there's the $1.3 million. Let's give it back to the taxpayers. No. Tiffany Clark, our financial person, stood up and said, no, the funds, the reserve funds for the vehicle fund is low. We should put it in there. I want to put it in there. And they said, yeah, okay, go ahead, take it, put it in there. So they spent $14.1 million last year, and yeah, they got money in there this year, and they're not spending as much. So, but don't worry. During the year, during 2025, they will need other monies to do other things like they did last year, and find another 10 or 20 million, whatever, and get them done. There's always money there somehow, even though our taxes go up. Page 233, and this is one of the ones that gets me, and I've been talking about on my show. Funds allocated to the NST Trail. And I keep saying, we do not need any more trails in this city. We got the Millennium Trail. We've got the Bruce Trail. We have trails in woods all over the place. We have the Niagara Parkway from Fort Erie to Niagara Lake, 32 miles of the most beautiful trail in the world, running the Niagara River from Lake Erie to Lake Ontario. How many more trails do we need? And then we're going to build another trail we can't take care of, because there's always problems with the Millennium Trail, keeping care of it. The asphalt's done. People are going to trip and fall. We have to do this. We have to do that. We have to make it accessible. We have to have parks now, $60,000 parks, so people can park benches for 2,500. People can sit down. And at night, it's dangerous. There's heroin at parties in there and everything. I heard. I'm not sure if there is or not, but that's what I heard. Somebody told me. And there's always problems. So, do we want another trail? Do we need another trail for $13 million? And in this budget, there's 1.33 million going towards it. I'm saying stop the insanity. We do not need this trail now. Save us the 1.33 million. Save the money. We don't need another trail. And I'm hoping somebody on city council stands up and says this. Come on. We don't need it. Wait till the hospital's built. Wait till something else. Wait till we can afford it. There's no guarantee on any of these amenities that we have. We want safe roads, good roads. We want a safe city so you can walk around without getting stabbed. We want a clean city, and we want clean drinking water. That's the main things we want. That's what the city should be concentrating on, not a lot of other crap that they concentrate on. And these trails like this are not needed right now. There's nobody going to cry if they cancel this thing, except a few people on city council, maybe. It's got to stop. Somebody should put a stop to it before it gets out of hand here. We don't want to spend $13 million on this. And that's my opinion. So, yeah, there may be some people out there say I'm nuts. We want that trail. You're spending money on concrete ping pong tables, $25,000. They can't build a $13 million trail. No, we can't. We don't have the money. But your taxes are going up every year because we don't have the money. So we'll see. I'll watch for item 233 and see what happens with that. Hope somebody gets up and says something about it. Page 300, 1.13 million for AI software. And I hope somebody comes up and asks about this, why we need this. From what I see, we spend the money on this, we can eliminate jobs that this is going to cover. So this AI is going to do jobs for people to make the process easier for building, and people don't have to do it. Okay, fine. Then we're going to get rid of people, right? They're going to be able to research, process, and self-serve developers. Research their projects net. The ongoing fees associated are outrageous. At the same page on the bottom that you probably wouldn't even notice if you didn't look, it says the annual licensing fee for this AI software we're paying 1.13 million for is $1 million a year. $1 million a year for licensing to use this software. I don't know. I need a better explanation of this. I need a better explanation. I'm not even on city council, and I'd like to have an explanation, but I am a taxpayer. Oh man, I'm telling you. Let me get to my second sponsor, Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza. And what I do when I get wound up, like I am right now, I get a piece of pizza. It makes me feel better. Pizza's my sedative. And where do I go to get it? Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza. Mike worked in an Italian restaurant for 15 years, the owner. He knows how Italian food and pizza. He uses the Mancini family recipe for the sauce and crust. It's beautiful. He knows how to put the right ratio of cheese to sauce. So you're not eating a block of cheese. You get the flavor of the sauce and the cheese mixed together, which, by the way, he uses Saputo, mozzarella, and brick cheese in a blend. Beautiful. Freshest toppings. Beautiful pizza. Great wings. The wings are fantastic. And he has a 3-page menu of everything. He has steak and cheese poutine, regular poutine, subs, hot subs, steak subs, panzerotti. He has a whack of stuff on that menu. Anything you can think of, he has. And specialty pizzas, combo specials. And to the end of the year, because it's the 40th anniversary of the Mancini family opening the first Pete's Pizza in the region, they're giving you, well, they're not giving you, they're selling you, or they're offering you 2 medium pizzas with 3 toppings for $25 plus tax. How can you beat that? It's a fantastic offer. You got a month and a few days to take advantage of it, and I know I'm gonna. I have more than once already. Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenues. If you want some good pizza, check it out. 905-374-2222 or Pete's Pizza Victoria.ca if you want to order online. They've extended their hours to midnight from Sunday to Thursday until 2 in the morning, Friday and Saturday. How can you beat that? They're open for your convenience. Come back from somewhere on a Friday night after having a couple of wobbly pops and you got a little bit of a munch on. Hey, Pete's Pizza, they're open. Give them a call. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. We really appreciate it. Thank you for viewing the show, listening to the show, viewing it on YouTube, leaving your comments. I always love comments. I'm going to read a couple tomorrow when on my show tomorrow. And yeah, it's fantastic. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, thumbs up, thumbs down if you don't agree with me, and leave some comments. Leave some comments, good or bad. Hey, we take them all. Page 303. We're getting through the 300s here. Planning and building. $900,000 for an external consultant to perform key background studies for the South Hospital secondary plan. Now, I thought we already had the money together and ready to go for this project. The city shares closing in on $50 million of this hospital. And, we were going to be around $30 million, but somehow we got roped into $11 million for the piece of property that we had to buy because the one they donated to the city, they were so kind to donate, wasn't big enough. So they graciously sold us the property they own next to where they gave us for $11 million. Yeah. And there's another $900,000 here. This money comes out of the consulting fund. I don't know how much money the consulting fund has in it. I don't know how much money any of these funds have in it. I've never seen a number. What do these funds? There's a million different funds, reserve funds. How much is in every one of them? We don't know. Nobody knows. They never give you a list of it. What's in this? What's in that? But it's coming out of there. But there's got to be a lot of money in the consulting fund because a lot of money's coming out of there. And why isn't this $900,000 part of the money we set aside for the hospital? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it'll be paid by developmental charges eventually, but it's coming out of the consulting fund, which is funded by I don't know what, where they get the money for that. Maybe from the casino. I don't know. We don't know. I see entries. Try to explain them. Page 313, refurbishing at the fire hall. 5 new items are needed worth $239,000. They need a new diesel generator. Okay, the generator's not working. You got to have one. If everything goes down, you need the power to power up the dispatch and power up the 911 and power up the phones and everything else in there. New external door for fire prevention office. That one I don't understand. What the door they have there on there right now isn't good enough, I guess. I don't know. But they're buying it. It's part of $239,000. It's not broken down into each one of them. It's part of what these cost. I don't think. Maybe it was, but it's adding up to $239,000. Redo kitchenette, replacing cabinets, counters, and finishes. A kitchen remodel for the firefighters. Really? The kitchen that's there isn't good enough. They got to remodel it. Repaint the deputy chief's office. Okay. Apparently the paint's peeling. In a new backflow preventer and incoming water system. But I guess the one there doesn't work. Backflow preventer. And I didn't make a note of what they all cost. $239,000 is the total expenditure on top of the $30 million budget they already have. I mean, this is a capital budget. The operations budget is gonna blow your mind. It just blows your mind all the time. This includes $18,000 in design costs. Hey! You can't just go in there and and call a guy and say, we need a new diesel generator, bring it down, or we need a new fire door, external door for the fire prevention office, please install it. Or redo kitchenette. No, $18,000 to design everything. So if it's not for the generator and it's not for the office door and it's not for repainting the chief's office and a new black backflow preventer to design any of that crap, then 18,000 is to design the kitchen. To redo the kitchen, they got a designer come in to redo it. I know Jason Burgess wants to take a look at this fire department budget bad. He's gnawing at the bit to get at it. Nobody will let him. It's sacrosanct. But believe me, this review of the fire department and all their different things is much needed. Somebody's got to go through this and figure it out. They're our biggest, I shouldn't say our biggest, but our costliest department. They're a bigger part of the budget than any other department. And Jason Burgess, our CAO, I call him the Penguin, lovingly. He said he wanted last year that he wants to review this budget, and nobody will let you know. They're sacrosanct. You can't touch them. But somebody has to get in there and do this. We got to find out what the hell's going on over there. Page 315, 47,000 for a new shed at the bulk water station. 47,000 for a new shed at the bulk water station. People go in there with trucks and load up water for different things. But they need a new shed and heat it for the winter so people can work in it. But $47,000, who's building this? And, as we get deeper into the capital budget, the requests get goofier. And so I'm thinking that people have had enough by page 300 and they just can't get through the rest or whatever. So now they're sliding in crazy things. Yeah, I guess. And they get a lot of things get slid in under the not needed alert button for me. Page 317, 135,000 for a new customer service desk and universal bathroom at City Hall. Can somebody please explain to me what a universal bathroom is? Please. I mean, they already have accessible bathrooms. They have to. And they don't tell us what it's worth. Just $135,000 for a new customer service desk, which costs what? I don't know. And I don't know why they need a new one. And a universal bathroom. So I don't know what that is. Is it a place for transgenders to go? Universal is for everybody, men, women, transgenders, accessible. I don't know, but it's expensive, whatever it is. And they have accessible washrooms at City Hall. I mean, they got to have accessible washrooms. That's just law. So my question is, why do they need another one? And what is a universal bathroom? They're expecting aliens coming in from outer space to use it, and they got to put special stuff in there to accommodate their different biology? Is it just woke? Is it just being woke? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know what it is. There's no explanation. Page 319, 115,000 looks like more money for the fire station kitchenette. They need commercial grade appliances and finishes because they're heavily used. CAO Jason Burgess, this message is for you, from me. Go in there and put these guys on 12-hour, 8-hour shifts like normal people. 8-hour shifts. That's going to cure a lot of these problems. In an 8-hour shift, you don't need kitchens. You don't have to cook food. You don't need mattresses. You don't need beds. What you need is people there 8 hours a day. And get rid of these 24-hour shifts they run for 3 days, and then they're off the rest of the week. Or 2 days, and they're off the rest of the week. 8 days a month, 96 days a year is what they work. on these 24-hour shifts. Less holidays, less personal days, less paid sick days. Hey, you're paying the taxes for these guys. But go in there and straighten this department out, please. Not taking away anything from anyone. They're going to get their sunshine list salaries. They're paid. They're going to get their benefits. They're going to get their pensions, but they're going to work normal hours. Most of them have different other businesses. They have so much time on their hands. And I'm not saying we don't need the firefighters. They do a great job. I wouldn't want to be a firefighter. I wouldn't want to go into a burning building for the fires that we have in Niagara Falls, all 20 of them a year. But at the other end of the spectrum, they're our biggest department. They cost us the most, and taxpayers pay the tab. So they got to be responsible to taxpayers. And they can't be sacrosanct. They have to have their department looked at and run efficiently and properly. And we tried to do that last year. Our CAO Burgess tried to do it last year by taking the dispatch and moving it to St. Catharines, who dispatches for 27 other cities in Ontario. Maybe more. I thought I saw 27. And they can do it. No problem. But 40 firefighters showed up, leaned on council, and they folded about it. So $250,000 that Jason Burgess was going to save to go towards the $1 million they demanded of him he save was out the window. So we have to spend an extra $250,000 rather than dealing it off to St. Catharines. And we have to spend another $700,000 or $800,000 on equipment because the equipment they have now is outdated and it doesn't go with the provincial laws or whatever for equipment for dispatch. See, St. Catharines didn't have to buy that; they already have it. That's what they do. So another $115,000 for more commercial grade kitchen appliances and finishes because they're heavily used. And another backflow preventer is mentioned. That's the second one. So I guess we need two of them now. Just wasn't on the same one as the other one. Another slided in item nobody will notice? I don't know. Page 323. City Hall, $219,000. Let's call this the year of the bathroom. And I don't know who knows how much because they don't break it down. Refurbish the bathrooms of City Hall. Everything is fine but inefficient. Replace everything, including the partitions in there. Jason Burgess, why does this have to be done right now? $219,000 in ceiling tile replacement. So they can't find ceiling tiles for City Hall. They must have used some rare breed of ceiling tile. So they're going to replace them all over the next 3 years. So a third of it's going to go on this budget. Part of that $219,000, I guess. I don't know. That's got to be looked at. Refurbish the bathrooms because of inefficient fixtures. We can't put that off for a couple years. Try to keep the taxes down to zero, the property tax raise increase. Page 325, fire station number 7. We're not done with the fire department yet. Now, this was just built and opened in 2021, 3.5 years ago. So it's basically brand new. Well, they need $14,000 to replace an overhead door sensor for remote operation on a brand new building. This was a $7.5 million build, and the existing one isn't good enough. So they got to spend another $14,000 on a new one. And they also want a fall protection device on an interior roof access ladder. So when they built this for $7.5 million, they didn't figure out that a roof access ladder didn't have a fall prevention plate on it or whatever. And they didn't need it 3 years ago, but then they saw the error of their ways when they were designing this, so they need it now. Your money, ladies and gentlemen. Your money. Here we go. Page 327. We're getting there. 10 minutes to get through another, 60 pages. Well, another an 89,000 for a fire station on Dorchester. They need new bay doors and windows. Not because they're bad, but because they would improve thermal efficiency. You know, my house has 40 or 45-year-old windows, and I don't think they're very thermally efficient. But I can't afford to put new windows in my house. So you know what? I don't. I'm going to save up every year for the next 5 years until I get whatever 20 or 30 grand together, because I don't know what windows are now, but they're not cheap. And I'm going to put them in then when I have the money. And I think a lot of projects the city is looking at here should be deferred and money starting to be put away in all these reserve funds. Although really we have 80 million floating around. And because they're not thermally efficient, we're going to replace them even if they're perfectly good. Now, there's more fire station expenditures like new windows, redo the kitchens. You know what I mentioned before, the windows, because old ones are 30 years old, and the windows in my house are more than that. Like I said, but that's what budgeting is. See, when we get to fiscal responsibility and budgeting, this is what it is. Shit, it's great to have everything new. New vehicles, new windows, new kitchens, new bathrooms, remodel everything. It's great if you win the lottery. If I win the 80 million tomorrow night, I'm going to put all new windows in my house. Probably buy a yacht too. But until then, I'm a schmuck. I got to save like everybody else does. That's what people do. And that's what our city should do as well. Page 335. On-site fitness center at City Hall. So the employees don't have to join expensive gyms. They can just go down to the City Hall Fitness Center, and they want to spend, I think, 54,000 to put some new equipment in there. No, 57,000. Jeez, I said 54,000. I should have known. That's low. Worth of equipment to use. How nice. Your taxpayer money. Now, this is in addition to the 1.835 million they spent in previous years to build the workplace fitness center. And I read that on that sheet. And 1.8 million? That can't be right. I mean, it says it there, previous to 2025, the expenditure, and they need 57,000 now to finish it up, put some new equipment in there. So I wonder if anybody's going to question that. Did we really spend 1.8 million on a gym at City Hall for employees? Boy, oh boy, I don't know. That one went right by me, and now they want another 57,000. I don't think there's $1.8 million worth of equipment in any gym in the city. Seriously. I think you could build a building and put a phenomenal gym in for 1.8 million. It's crazy. I don't know if that's right or not, or somebody made a mistake, but I hope somebody questions it, but we get into page 330, whatever that was. What was it? 330 something. And who knows? They might not question anything. 335. We're getting to the end of the road here. Page 339, 175,000. Build an archway for wedding nuptials on City Hall grounds. Okay, there was $130,000 of revenue for weddings last year. I mean, did anybody complain about the setup there, where they need to spend $175,000 to build an archway? Now, we okayed $72,000 before for a mobile arch to be built. That money's still there. And now the 175 is in addition, so we're coming in at, like $250,000 for this archway. And people are there for what? 10 minutes? Do you? I do. Do you? I do. Let's get out of here. Here, give the city $750 or whatever they charge for a wedding nowadays. They raise that fee too. So I mean, I don't know. $250,000. Whew. See, and you wonder how you can save $3 million. I bet you if you look through this and got rid of all this waste, this nonsense, you probably got 4 or 5 million sitting there. I mean, all these little 100,000s and 60,000s and 900,000s and all this stuff, that adds up. It adds up. What do they say? You watch your pennies and the dollars will take care of themselves. Yeah. Yeah. Page 343 goes through deferred projects that are looking for funding in 2025, I guess. Boathouse for Fire Marine Unit, 445,000 for a total spend of 895,000, with 450,000 already approved but never spent. So there's $1 million boathouse for the Fire Marine Unit. Front office renovation, Fairview Cemetery, 100 grand. You're going to redo the front office, $100,000. New soil bunker at Fairview Cemetery, 95,000. Soil sitting out, looked crappy. They want to cover it up. Keep it nice. 95,000. Oh, moving on. 357. We're almost there. We got 5 minutes to get through the rest. McBain Center refresh, 3.475 million needed on a 20-year-old building. 20 years is in the city is an what do you call that? An era. It's a century. 20 years is the new 100 years, because 20-year-old building needs all new equipment: heating, ventilation, air conditioning, paving in the parking lot, pool systems, elevator components, and more, including lobby modifications, new lockers, new light standards, exterior caulking. You don't want your caulk to be cracked. Just ask Grandma; she'll tell you. LED lighting. I mean, do they not do regular maintenance on these buildings? Do they not do regular maintenance and replace stuff and revamp stuff as it's needed? Is it just all of a sudden we got to spend $3.5 million? Can they not do it in piecemeal over the next 3 or 4 years? $1 million a year dedicated to it? I don't know. I don't have any answers. Now, this is in addition to the 208,000 they already put aside for this project. So it's 3.75 plus about 3.75 million, when it's all said and done. And I'd love to know the maintenance already spent on this building over the last 20 years, in addition to this 3.75 million they want to spend. Come on. They didn't just do nothing over the last 20 years to maintain this building. I mean, air conditioners only last so long. Your house air conditioner, the roof on your house only lasts so long. Your refrigerator and your appliances only last so long. Paving only lasts so long. And in a municipal building, safety becomes a factor as well. So you got to take that into account. But still, page 362. We're almost there. 20 more pages to go. Chippewa Arena, 825,000. And I was looking at it, thinking about it, and I know people are going to complain about that because they're saying, "Oh, they're building a new one," and blah blah blah. But still, until a new arena can be built, if that's the way they're going to go, and it was discussed, I think last council meeting or the one before that, we have to keep this one working for the city of Niagara Falls. So if this is what it takes, it's an expenditure we have to make. We're between a rock and a hard place until the new building is done. We've got to keep this one going for the minor hockey and everything else that they do in it. And arenas are expensive buildings. They have all the pipes, all the brine. They have to have all this refrigerated to make ice. They're high maintenance, and that's just the way it is. And we've got to keep the Chippewa Arena going. So yeah, it's an expenditure we're going to have to make, like it or not. And if that's the price, I would hope that procurement went and got the best price to do this. But sometimes these specialty places, it's hard to get a better price because there's just not a lot of people to do it, and that you trust, and you got to get it done on time and done right. We found that out at the Gale Center. They did a crap job. They didn't get the insurance on it, and it's been costing us money for everything. The pipes lasted a couple of years, and they had to put all new ones in or something. Page 375. This one is curious. $62,000 for lighting at the exchange. Now, the exchange overran their budget by $5 million, $17 million. It's not good for the market. They're pulling out. They want to go back to the McBain Center. This thing was just opened. It was just opened. It will open in 2024. And they need new lighting because the current lighting doesn't meet the requirements of staged and musical events. Did they not consult the artists and everybody else when they were building this thing? This thing is a friggin' money pit. It's never going to stop taking from the city. You watch. This thing's going to be a nightmare. The city spent $8,000 on lighting in 2024. Now another $60,000 they want. Please stop the insanity. Go out and raise the money yourself if you need it. Place had an overrun of $5 million, delivered 2 years late. Now they need more money after 6 months being open? Well, they've been open 6 months? They open in May? I don't know. I mean, this would be a big no for me. No, you're not getting the money. Find it somewhere else. Raise the money if you want to fix things. I mean, come on. Brand new building, and now they got the lighting wrong. $15, $17 million. They need more. It's 1 o'clock. I got to get out of here. That's it. That's the last thing I have to look at. Page 375. 62,000. I mean, if you can't find $2 or $3 million of savings here, well, the CAO isn't doing his job, and neither is council. Some of these things were discussed are not needed, at least not right now. The biggest being the NSNT Trail expenditure of $1.13 million this year, and a total of $12 to $13 million for the total build. We really don't need another trail, but what we do need is Doge in this city. A Department of Government Efficiency. That's what we need. Department of Government Doge. Like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are running for Trump. Anyone that's going to run for mayor next election, I mean, you can hang your hat on this. It's badly needed in this city. Somebody to look at these expenses and take them by the throat and throttle them. So next stop, tomorrow's meeting, and the operation budget comes in January. So watch the meeting tomorrow afternoon. I'll be talking a little bit more about it in the morning if I get any news or anything about it. And of course, they're going to decide on it in the December 3rd meeting. There's another meeting, I think. And that's when they're going to decide. They're just going to talk about it tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then decide on it later in December. And then in January, we move to the operations budget, which is going to be, I don't know. It's going to be the 1-2 punch that Mike Tyson couldn't land on Jake Paul. Let me put it that way. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We got through it. I wish I could give you more, but it's you got to go through all 382 pages yourself to really get a thing, and then figure out what we need, what we don't need, what's important in you, what isn't important to you. Because right now, staff is telling us what we need and don't need, and they're being told by the different departments what they need, and we know departments always want everything new. We want everything new. Can't use used stuff and that. So I don't know what procurement is like, but that's the way it is. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Paul K. Lemire. Go through it yourself and check it out if you have time. This is your City, Your Voice, coming to you live as usual. I'll be back tomorrow at noon with Trash Talking Tuesday. Maybe more to say about this, but until then, have a great day. Enjoy the weather. I mean, this is great for, charging into December. I love it. Enjoy it. And we'll talk to you tomorrow on Your City, Your Voice. Don't forget to support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue in Niagara Falls. Also, subscribe to the channel, like the video, don't like the video, leave comments, hit the notification so you know when I post another one. This one, the video is going to be up by probably 3 or 3:30 like usual. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning in. Love you all. God bless you.